So to get us started off today, who wants to give us a recap of what we did last time we played?
Ooh, I know this one.
Go for
We
it.
rescued the body of Sibelin just as we had planned all along.
Went exactly as not planned.
All right,
Yes.
rescue the body of Sabellin.
And
What
at the
else
same time, Sablin's soul was in the Shadowfell, had a conversation with a piece of his ancestor. With the help of Lazuli, managed to destroy that kind of avatar of Abyssia, and now last saw of Sablin's soul is that it was being taken through a portal by Lazuli, which, popped into a wrong timeline for a second, but now is en route to he doesn't know where besides out of the Shadowfell. And yeah, we got the body back as well after agonizing over how to execute a rescue mission without Artemis there to give actually good plans, and ran into a Duragar that managed to break free of the Mind Flayer control and start going ham on the still Mind Flayer controlled, Drow and other Duragar around him. And in the middle of the chaos, we turned Sablin's body into a snail, threw in a bag, and dipped out of there.
Right. Nice.
And I honestly think that we should have just restarted the campaign in that harsh, dark future that Sibelin woke up to, because that would have been fucking amazing.
That would be a fun one-shot one day.
Like, we just time skip, we fucked up, we never, we didn't succeed. Season 2 is just the aftermath of us not succeeding in Season 1.
That might not be an alternate timeline depending on how we do things.
This is true. It may
Yeah,
just be
the-
a premonition.
Yeah, we're only level 8. There's still hope. Or not hope.
All right.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
So last we left off, you guys were indeed, you had kind of baited Sablin's body out.
Yes, exactly
towards
as we
the gate
planned.
of the Temple of the Primordial area. So where you are, kind of marked on the map right now, is where you were fighting. And this Sturgheim, is that his name? Sturgheim?
Yes. Sturmund Drongheim.
Sturmund Drongheim was fighting along with you, but as you put Sibelin's body into a snail, into your bag of holding, and flee, Sturmund stays behind and continues to fight with the various monsters defending the gate. So you guys are having a black map right now?
I put my token
I'm
on the
not.
map and it fixed it. But yeah, it was
I
just
can
like
just see.
it
I'm
was.
gonna put my token on there and see what happens.
Yeah, it's black for some reason.
I can
Unless I
still
put my
just see.
token on.
Yeah, that's weird because I have
Yeah, it's weird.
no dynamic lighting or anything turned on.
It like randomly turned on by itself, almost.
I would just double check if this implausible token in the middle is given universal sight, because that might have something to do with it.
Science.
If I just turn its vision on, maybe that'll work.
Still black for me. Oh, I
You can-
see the implausible token though. In a
So
sea of darkness.
strange.
I'm
Because
trying
it
to drag my token back on there again.
The
If I do
weird
this
thing is that it's not like actual, like, there's no like fog.
Oh, there we go.
You
There,
can just see
yeah.
the whole map
Okay.
when I throw my token on, so that's weird.
So now it should be good, I think.
Oh, yep, there you go. Yeah, I took it off now, it's fine.
Did that work? Okay.
Yeah.
I just made the... Yeah, alright. Whatever. So Artemis. Actually, we can put you on the map. Since you are not
Yes.
with the implausibles. So you were about right here where you split off from them.
Mm-hmm.
So as you split off, as the group, you got into this argument with Agony and the rest of the party. and you stormed off. They followed after you and tried to flee, but you left kind of an after image behind you that was that they were speaking to, and made your sneaky escape. Where are you going? What's your plan?
Well, Artemis will creep down the alleyway, listening to people talk behind him, ignores them, gets a couple of streets over, and breaks into a quick walk. Orpheus just appears on his shoulder. And I am going to... hang on, let me check how long it lasts. I think it's an hour. Yeah, it lasts for an hour. Okay, so I'll walk for a little bit, and as I do, after 10 minutes or so, I'll cast Tongues on myself, and I'm going to have Orpheus go invisible, hang out on my shoulder, and try to be like very conspicuous. I'll have him sort of fly up and keep an eye on the rooftops, and tell him just keep an eye out for Drow.
Okay. And you're just trying to like sneak around.
No, I'm not even sneaking around. I'm just sort of like walking around. Like if I think that there's some sort of creature.
Oh, you're being conspicuous.
Conspicuous, yes. Sorry.
Okay. So you're kind of trying to
draw attention to myself.
Draw attention a little bit. All right. In which direction are you walking?
Let's go north.
All right. So you're kind of heading off north, and walking and drawing attention to yourself. Orpheus is keeping watch from above. Why don't you just roll me a d20? So you're walking. What kind of are you making noise? Are you speaking, or are you?
I'm probably whistling.
Whistling. Okay. So you're whistling as you walk down the street. And actually, why don't you also now roll a perception check for Orpheus?
$18.
Okay. So as you're walking down the street, conspicuously, Orpheus from above says, "Hey boss, got some folks on the rooftops up ahead."
Are they Drow?
So, they look humanoid. Got hoods on.
Stay invisible. I'm gonna hang out here for a second. You go ahead and see if you can get a better look.
Alright, so Orpheus swoops in closer. As he's gone invisible. He can get close enough as he stays far away and just trying to get a line of sight as these 4 figures are just like kind of hopping along the rooftops, moving silently in your direction. And he catches a glimpse of one of their faces, and it has that pale blue skin and sylvan features, which he then responds to and says, "Yep, they're Drow."
All right. Stay close. Stay in the air, but stay close and stay invisible. Let's see how this plays out.
And you continue whistling.
Yep.
You just stand there. So as you do, you just stand there. You're kind of in the street with ruined buildings around you.
Mhm.
And suddenly, you can see. Why don't you make me a perception check, actually, as you're
Sure.
standing there, kind of looking around in the darkness of Belsamer, the dim light.
Ugh.
You standing there, waiting for something to happen. Then you see in the distance, down the street from you, 3 figures come walking. There's one walking a little,
Walking up.
walking up towards you. Yes.
Okay.
One walks a bit ahead of the other 2. As they get a bit closer, you notice a female figure in a little bit more elegant robes. And then beside her, 2 other drow with leather armor, seem to be heavily equipped.
Okay.
And
Are they approaching me like aggressively or just walking up?
They're just kind of walking up.
Okay.
And though the 2 on the side seem to, have their hands on their crossbows, as if ready to draw on you if need be.
Okay.
The woman holds nothing but a staff. And she speaks to you and says, "Who dares walk these streets alone? Name yourself."
Good afternoon, evening. I'll check my watch. Evening. I'll put my watch away. My name is Arthur Knight. It is a pleasure to meet you. I'll do a little bow.
Arthur, is it? You have quite the balls, I believe that's the saying. What are you doing here?
Well, I was hoping to run into some interesting people. Namely, your people. I figured we could have a conversation.
What can you possibly wish to speak with us about?
Well, I'm here as a representative, both of myself and my particular employers, but also on behalf of the Belsamer League of Allied Cephalopod Killers, or BLACK. We are forming a little, I guess you could call it a union. I guess you could call it an alliance. Let's go with alliance. An alliance of sorts of like-minded people who are, quite frankly, fed up with all of these unfortunate mollusks running around, enslaving people.
Fair enough. What makes you think we would broker your help?
Well, I'm sorry. You have me at a bit of disadvantage here, ma'am. I didn't get your name.
My name is Yizmit.
Yizmit. That is a lovely name. So, Yizmit, don't take this the wrong way, but I happen to notice you and your comrades have been kicking around this city for a while. We've encountered some of you, but we've encountered an awful lot more drow with spikes in the back of their necks. Now, far be it for me to make overly broad judgments of your fighting prowess, ma'am, but I suspect if you had the capability of pushing out the mind flayers, you would have done so a long time ago.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
She looks annoyed as you say that.
Ugh.
Well, you certainly seem to be the talking type. Suppose it wouldn't hurt to hear what you have to say. What help do you offer?
Well, we are currently allied with the dwarves of the Vale of Dancing Waters. We have also managed to procure the aid of a band of stone giants. I'll sort of wave my hand to the general direction of the stone giants. We are currently in the process of recruiting some fellow assistants, some fellow allies from the surface. The gnome community has shown some interest in helping us.
You,
We have a knoll.
As you list these different factions, you see kind of distaste upon the faces of her two guards, though her face remains stolid, and she says, and what makes you think we want the scum like that dirtying up our city?
I don't think you do, Yismet. However, allying with them for now could prove beneficial to you in the long term.
Says, this is not my decision to make. If you would follow me, I will take you to an outpost and you will meet with my lieutenant. You can speak with him about your proposals.
Very well.
Of course, we will need to blindfold you on your way. So if you are just using us, we will give you no information.
That I'm reluctant to trust you to that degree. You understand?
You are asking us to trust you. Can you not begin this relationship with a show of trust of your own?
Why don't we start walking? We find a place that you find acceptable. I can wait there. You can bring your lieutenant to me.
So you can ambush. I'm afraid.
Well, I assume your guard's up on the roofs, and I'll sort of point off at a few of them. Can keep an eye on me. You didn't think I didn't notice them there.
She kind of raises an eyebrow at you. You make an awful lot of demands for someone who claims to come to offer their help to us.
I'm merely trying to ensure my own safety. But if you insist, I'll follow you. We can do this blindfold thing, if that'll make you feel more comfortable. I suppose if you wanted to kill me, you would have shot me already.
Now you're using your head. And she kind of snaps her fingers, and one of her guards, or both of her guards, approach you. One of them pulling out a piece of cloth from their sack, which they then approach.
I should warn you: if you ruffle even a single hair on my head, there will be hell to pay.
He, this guy just kind of grunts and roughly grabs your shoulders, and the other one goes and
Watch the hair. Watch the hair.
your head. And You hear Yizmit's voice now as you are blindfolded and can see just a sliver of the ground in front of you through the bottom of the mask, and you hear Yizmit say, "Well then, we'll hold your arm and guide you." You feel that rough hand of the drow guard grab onto your bicep and start pulling you forward as they begin walking you through the streets of Belsimer.
Okay. I'll switch over to Orpheus eyes and sort of survey this from a newscopter perspective, but I'll follow.
So you do, and and they begin taking you kind of south. Let me see what direction this is. Southeast, back through the city, and weaving through the streets. These drow continue to walk on the rooftops. They begin pulling you, and they duck into a alleyway as Orpheus hears some noise of feet marching along in the distance. Then they fade and they continue to walk with you. And eventually, they bring you to the front of a simple building, looks like any other. And Orpheus, from atop, sees as they kind of gather around. And as you approach, there are more guards hidden amongst the rooftops around this building. But unless, from the look of it, you can't tell that it's anything different from the other buildings around.
Okay.
Put this on the map.
I'll have Orpheus fly down and sort of. He can turn into a rat. I'll have him turn into a rat, invisible rat, and hide in my pocket.
Okay, so he flies down, turns into a rat, still invisibly, scurries up next to you, and climbs into your pocket. You hear Yizmit in front of you do a rhythmic knock onto the door. And a little eye hole slides open, slides closed, and then the door opens up. And she leads you inside, the two guards flanking you. I assume if you're still kind of looking through Rat, Orpheus's eyes, you see that they bring you into what is seemingly just a rundown building. It was some sort of workshop. But in the back there are hurricane doors that open up. They take you down some stairs into a lower level beneath the ground. And this opens up into a much larger room. It seems to be some sort of dojo. And
okay.
In the center of this room, or kind of the back center, is a table, a desk at which sits a drow in a long coat. Looks a little bit older than the others. And make a perception check or an insight check, whichever one you're better at.
Ugh, what am I rolling tonight?
So he's there sitting, looking at some document on his desk, and you hear Yizmit as she approaches you and lifts up your blindfold. She says, Hello, Father. And he looks up with a scowl. And she goes, Sir, I have brought you a man who claims to offer aid. And this drow lieutenant looks up towards you. And he... And how can you help us?
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
My name is of no concern to you.
Of no concern to you. Okay. Well, Mister, of no concern to you.
Call me.
Lieutenant. I see. Well, Lieutenant. I'm sorry. I'm Arthur Knight. I'm with the Belsimer League of Allied Cephalopod Killers, amongst other interests. But I am here to propose an alliance between your drow and our little union of like-minded individuals. We're considering a strong offensive against the Mind Flayers here in the next 10 days or so.
And you want us to help?
That would be the size of it, yes, sir.
And why would we do that?
I assume that the Illithids are as much a problem for you as they are for anybody else in the city.
They are, but your kind, you surface folk, you surely will not sit easy with us on the throne. Well, I have no faith that you will let us be down here. I've met your kind before.
My kind?
It's you humans. And other pale-skinned folk.
I see. So, not much for one to trust a human. Is that about the size of it?
No.
Well... To ask, what do you have to lose?
Let me ask you more concretely. What is your plan? And how do you see us fitting into it?
The broad strokes consist of an all-out offensive, followed by a targeted assassination. Where your forces come in would largely depend on how many there are, how capable they are, and what their capabilities entail.
Is it the Elder Brain you plan to destroy?
I feel like that would be a necessary step in securing the central district. Am I correct in that assumption?
Let me make a suggestion. You can count on us to destroy that Elder Brain. You can count on us that our goal is to once again rule these streets of Belsimer. You can count on us that we will do what is most advantageous for us. continue with your assault. We have agents who are quite skilled at infiltration. We will destroy the Elder Brain, as the rest of the hive is concerned with killing you and your kind.
Interesting. And you're positive that you have that ability?
He kind of looks at those around him. If we don't, then what help are we to you anyway?
Well, well, that's a good point. At the same time, I feel like if you could have done that, you would have done that. I feel like a pooling of our resources, some of your best men and our best men working together, would stand a much better chance at defeating that Elder Brain.
He looks over to Yismet and he says, "Note, daughter, how these surface folk think they know everything and think they can just command.
I command nothing, sir. I'm merely suggesting."
Not only do I have no interest in working alongside of you, there is absolutely no way that my forces would agree to such a deal. We will continue with our plan. As long as you continue with yours. We have a mutual goal. I don't so much subscribe to that idea of my enemy is my friend. That sounds like quite a shoddy formation for any sort of relationship.
Oh, I completely... I never said anything about anybody being friends. I do worry, though, that if I don't know the details of your plan and you don't know the details of mine, that our plans could come to cross purposes. I'd hate to step on your toes, and I'm sure you'd hate to step on ours.
You don't have to worry about that. As I said, we are discreet. You are tiring me. And he calls back into the back room, and he says, "Oscar, come here." And you see the back door open. This ragged-looking halfling walks out, emaciated, with a collar around his neck. And he looks at you, and his eyes go a little wide. And he says, "Oscar, tell him to go back to his people and continue with his plan to assault the Temple of the Primordial." And Oscar grabs this lute with a broken string that's hanging around him. He plays a discordant tune, and he begins to cast a spell at you. And he says, unless you're counterspelling him, he says,
I don't have counterspell, unfortunately.
Okay. He said,
I will direct Orpheus to go scurry over to it and try and clamber onto a pant leg or something, or into a pocket if he's got any.
Okay. Make a stealth check at advantage because he's distracted.
Okay.
As he tries to climb onto him. Yeah, great.
20.
And he plays this tune and he says, "You will go back to your people." And then he says, "Go to your people. continue with your attack as planned. And make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Suggestion.
20.
Right. You shrug it off as you feel this magical influence come over you. The lieutenant backhands Oscar, who falls to the ground.
No need for violence.
He says a word in Undercommon.
I understand it.
You understand because you have tongues. Where she
Right.
says, pain. And you see the collar around Oscar's neck flare up. And he cries out as he kind of falls to the ground, clutching his neck.
Now that is a neat little trick.
You surface folk are so unreliable.
You know, Well, I think there's been a bit of a misunderstanding here, Mr. Lieutenant. My presence here is out of courtesy, not out of necessity. You're asking what I have to offer you. Let me put a few more cards on the table here. I'll reach into my pocket and produce my ingot, which I have transmuted into like some sort of like Zentarum badge, and I'll flash it.
Nice.
I represent a certain organization on the surface. You may have heard of us. Black Network, I'll badge away. I am here on behalf of one Johnny Dreadwing. You may have also heard of him. The Molten Blade, aka the Dragon of Luskan. We in the Black Network are highly interested in expanding our operations down into the Underdark. Belsimer strikes our fancy as a perfect place to establish an embassy and an outpost. Now, understand, according to you, that you look to reclaim your rule over Belsimer. Is that correct?
I don't think you understand. We have been, for generations, attacked by your people. We will rule beneath here without your help. We do not need it.
Really?
Stand here and pretend like anyone above the surface has any interest but their own.
No, I am acting entirely in my own interest here. However, my interest need not be the enemy of yours, sir. We in the Zentarum are offering you an alliance. Now, I understand a good number of people here, although I don't suspect you have enough people to simultaneously slay an Elder Brain, defeat your assembled allied rivals for power, and manage, hold, and reconstruct an entire city. That's where we come in. Understand, sir, that the Belsimer League of Allied Cephalopod Killers is a tool, one of many in our rather large tool collection. If it proves insufficient to get the job done, we have an airship and sky soldiers. We also have our burrowing unit. We've been quite hard at work getting the beacons around this city active.
Make a deception check.
Mm-hmm. $25.
He does look a little impressed. And he says, "Very well then, if you're so intent on helping us retake this city, my suggestion remains the same, unless you have a better offer. We, as you attack and wage war upon those guarding the temple, we sneak in, we slay the Elder Brain.
An acceptable plan. I don't suppose you have any information that could prove useful to our assault. You have a layout of the central district, perhaps?
We do have such information.
Would you be willing to provide us with that?
He looks a bit wary as he says, I want you first to prove to me that you are capable. You say you act with a alliance of sorts?
That is correct.
I assume you would have no trouble capturing a troop of our soldiers.
You cut out there for me. Oh, a troop of what?
A troop of our soldiers.
Oh, the ones with spikes in the neck?
Yes. You can capture a troop. They are, as you have likely seen, wandering. Capture a troop, subdue them, do not kill them. Bring them here. Better yet,
Forgive my ignorance. How many consist? I'm sorry. How many consist of a troop?
They roam in packs of at least 10.
Understood.
Whatever you come across, capture, retrieve, bring them to us. And because you do not know where here is, we can say, why don't you come and meet back where Yasmit met you.
That seems reasonable.
You have a day to do this. By tomorrow
A day?
evening? Is that too soon?
No, I'll see what I can do. One day to do this. Okay, we can work with that. One other thing, Lieutenant, before I get out of your hair, I'll look over at Oscar. I couldn't help but notice you called him Oscar. Is that correct?
What business is it of yours?
Well, technically mine. However, the gnomes did mention somebody by the name of Oscar, or they also called him the Great Smiley One. I'll look over at Oscar. Does that name ring a bell to you, sir?
Yeah, Oscar, when you say that, his eyes kind of light up, but then for just a moment, but then quickly fade. He says, no, I know. I've never heard that name in my life.
Pity. John would be wanted to hear that. Oh, guess the other Oscar must be around here somewhere. See how he reacts to that.
He kind of tries to hold it together, and the lieutenant says, "Who do you speak of? Who is this John?"
a business associate of mine.
Make another deception check.
It's not entirely wrong. Oh boy.
Roll for that.
Hang on. Let's hold on. I got things. I got inspiration, don't I? Yes, I do. I will spend my my inspiration token here. Try and re-roll if I can get back 2. Yes, that's better than a 2. 20.
He quickly loses interest. It seems that something about the name John kind of sparked something in the lieutenant.
Mhm.
As he looks over at Oscar, who just has totally hidden his response to your saying of that name.
Mhm.
And he says,
I'll ask the lieutenant. I don't suppose you know another Oscar kicking around here. I think he's supposed to be a gnome or something. Apparently, he's some sort of big deal. Might go by the last. What is his last name? I guess it'd be Alros, wouldn't it? I don't know.
At the name Alros, he looks back and he says, the lieutenant says, what interest do you have in this character?
Oh, my business associate, as mentioned him before, would very much like to meet this Oscar.
He's dead. The one you speak of.
Is he? Pity. Oh well.
Well, you're wasting time.
John's gonna be. Indeed. I'll get out of your hair, Lieutenant. I'll turn around and start walking away. Actually, hold on. Lieutenant, I'll point over at Oscar. Sell me that. How much would you like for it? I bet if I delved it up a little bit, I might be able to pass it off as. I mean, hey, let's face it. It's a halfling that's called Oscar. I bet the gnomes wouldn't even recognize one gnome from another, or a half elf or a halfling from another. Yeah, I bet I could pass it off.
He puts up a hand. He's not for sale.
Not for sale. Well, I've got 500 here. I'm sorry, 300. I could sell you. I'm sorry, what?
Non-negotiable. He is not for sale.
Non-negotiable. Sentimental value, I assume?
It's no business of yours. He kind of waves his hands, and some of the guards start approaching you. Carry on now.
Understood. You have a good day, Lieutenant. I'm sorry, is that offensive to you people? I'm not sure.
One of them just kind of shoves you a little bit towards the door.
Are there any, like, female drow kicking around?
There's Yismit, and then in this room, there's maybe 6 drow altogether. A couple of them are female as well, of the guards.
So there actually aren't that many down here.
No, not in this room, no.
Not in this room. Could I, like, do some sort of check to get sort of an idea of how populated this building is? Do I see, like, racks full of weapons or something to indicate, like, there might be, like, a ton of guys here, or what?
Yeah, there are, like, 3 doors out of this little dojo area. So you can't really get an idea of what might be behind those. You did see, through Orpheus's eyes, you saw a few other drow kind of kicking around in the actual ruined building above. There were some on the rooftops around in the area. You'd assume there are some kind of on patrol around the area. So, just based on how many you've seen already, you would guess that, like, in the area there are at least, 20 drow, but possibly more, depending on depending on what lies beyond those 3 doors that lead out of this little dojo.
Okay. Okay. Then yeah, I guess I will get escorted out of here. Is there something else I wanted to bring up? No, I guess I'll bounce.
They place the blindfold back on you and say,
Oh, hang on. There is. I'm sorry. There is one thing I want to do. Let me roll a d10 here real quick. 9. Okay. Okay. I'll, like, as they're putting the blindfold on me, I'll look over at Ismet and I'll just go, I hear female spiders eat their mates. I'd be willing to return the favor sometime, as they put the blindfold on me.
Alright. They put the blindfold on you.
I got a list of pickup lines here I'm going to use.
One of them just punches you in the gut.
Ow! Not necessary!
And they guide you back to where you first met them. And take off the blindfold. Say, Yuzmit says to you, we'll meet you here again tomorrow.
I look forward to it, mon cher.
She spits on the ground in front of you and walks away.
Irresistible. I'm irresistible. I'll start walking off, and once they're a good distance away, I'll just put my head, or like my hand to my ear, almost like I'm checking an earwig, and I'll contact Orpheus to make sure he's still with Oscar.
Goes, oh yeah, I'm here. You just want me...
Good.
What do you want me doing?
Just hang out with Oscar. Once he gets a quiet moment alone, explain the situation to him. Explain who you are and that you're going to be who you're with, and that you're going to be hanging out with him for a little bit. Also explain to him that he now has a direct line to John, I guess. I guess I'll check my watch and head to Vale of the Dancing Waters. It's the closest friendly place.
Alright. You get headed to Vale of the Dancing Waters. The rest of you will return to you after your fight with the Mind Flayers and their controlled people. As you've reclaimed Sablin's body, you've snagged it in snail form into a bag of holding. And you then... what are you doing now, as you have run away and escaped immediate chase?
The big orgy leader man said he could revive/fix the issue. That would be the first place we would dash off
dwarves!
to before he turns back into not being a snail in an hour. Can we make it there in an hour from where we were?
Oh, I think if John full dashed, he probably could make it there in an hour, no problem.
If you go to the dwarves alone and he transforms back in the middle of all the dwarves, would he not try and kill you and all the dwarves?
Yes, but come on. We're talking about Sabellin here, and this is a bunch of orgy dwarves. He'll take his time.
It's my understanding that it is currently not Sabellin piloting the body, but an intellect devourer or other minion of the Mind Flayers.
But deep down, we all know he's really him.
My understanding is that deep down he is an intellect devourer or other minion of the Illithids. Currently. Deep down referring to the inside of his skull.
Well,
Yeah,
then,
definitely
if that's the
headed there.
case, we'll just trick him into a closet or something.
I mean, if he's really in the bag, if he turns back into not being a snail, he's gonna die in 10 minutes, though.
So you guys are trying as quickly as you can to get
Wait, is
to
a
the
snail
Vale of
gonna
Dancing
die
Waters.
in there with no air?
I forget with polymorph if it's like an unwilling creature. Did they have to do they get to make saves on it?
Nope,
Or
not until they either take damage or the timer runs out.
nice, okay.
And it's a concentration spell, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
so I'm concentrating on it.
So as you guys are walking over
Ooh, does the snail bite her?
quickly. Well, the snail's in the bag, right? In the bag of
Yeah.
holding.
I get it.
So in about
Yes.
10 minutes.
The snail will lose HP and die, and then he'll
In a-
turn into a disabled and another.
Yeah, in about 10
You
minutes.
should probably
you
not keep him
feel-
in the bag, really.
You feel
Well,
your
okay, here's my
spell
question. Does a snail use as much oxygen as a full-blooded human being? Because
It's
that
not a-
calculation is
it's
based
not-
on a...
It's not. An
It's not.
oxygen
It's
thing.
not. The amount of air in the bag is not a fixed amount. It is relative to the creature. So any creature can breathe for 10 minutes, regardless of what its size is.
So the spell drops after 10 minutes. Anyone who's here, so I guess Agony, Palouse, John, and Smashy, can all make me just an intelligence check.
Oh, man.
Try to, as you guys
yeah,
are
this is what I'm
arguing
good at.
over what the heck is going to happen.
We probably shouldn't have put him in the bag. We probably should have held the snail in our hands.
Just straight intelligence?
Yeah, just give me straight intelligence.
Oh, I didn't do
Oh,
bad,
jeez.
actually.
I'm unfamiliar with the workings of bags of holding. Are we sure that his body will not be disintegrated by the infinite expanse inside?
Well, here's my other question.
butterfly. Maybe the bag man gets him.
How full is our bag? Because he may
John.
just be larger than our quantity allows, and it would destroy the bag.
I think that's fine.
John, so you know that in the bag of holding, breathing things can live for a certain amount of time, but then will die after they run out of air. You also know that the way that Intellect Devourers work is if their host body dies, they pop out of that body.
But then they will be inside the bag, and then it is gonna
then
die.
they
in 10
will
minutes.
die. Yeah, exactly. So
That-
I'm just like,
Assuming it breathes. It doesn't even have a face.
hey, it's still a living creature. So,
That's a good question.
It breathes.
so here's, and John will go. So here's the idea. Our friend over in the orgy dwarf said he can bring him back from the dead, right? Why don't we just leave him in there and then
Until we
John
get
looks
there.
at like an imaginary watch, like he pulls out an imaginary watch and like clicks it open and goes, 15 more minutes or so. Call 20 just to be safe, and then
Then we won't even have to fight
nothing
it.
will be left alive in there,
Just,
and then we can just have him bring back Sabellin.
I guess he's already dead, right?
Yeah, like
Right? I don't know.
nothing in there is Sabellin as we know him.
It seems that none of these
At least
factors
that's
go.
what Smashy keeps telling me.
It seems that none of these factors go against the current objectives. So I agree.
In 30 minutes, we have no problems.
How do we get him out of the bag?
I believe we just turned the bag inside out. Or we just
I'm gonna cast
reach in there?
Prestidigitation to make a 1-minute hourglass that just he keeps using to count to make sure that we know exactly how long this is gonna be.
So the bag of holding could fit in the snail as we entered the snail into the bag. Would it be able to handle an entire Dragonborn's body being pulled out of it? Thinking about the circumference of the opening of the bag of holding.
I look at the
Are we
bag.
looking at a case of a prolapse bag of holding here?
Well, So, fun fact, if you ever need to, you can always just turn the bag inside out and make all the contents fall out.
And then you don't need to prolapse the
Worry
bag,
about,
as you said.
Well, then you
Stop.
are
Just
literally
prolapse me.
prolapsing the bag. You really are prolapsing the bag if you take the inside
Ripping it
dome
apart.
and pulling it
essentially,
out.
Palouse.
That really is prolapsing, so... Yes, we will be prolapsing the
I never
bag.
thought I heard prolapsing so much.
All right.
Now Palouse is going to be using the word prolapsing instead of ripping apart in some other situation later down the line. I'm going to prolapse you apart.
Yeah, that's what my I'm gonna prolapse you.
God, that should give like advantage on intimidation
I-
checks with that.
I ran 3 miles in like 2 minutes. I prolapsed it.
All right. So you guys continue to have this
Talk as we're
have this
running.
conversation as you move over towards the Vale of Dancing Waters, as you move through the streets wondering what the heck is going to happen and how you're going to get Sablin's body out of this bag. Though John is pretty sure that if you just turn it inside out, everything comes out, right? That's how it works? Pretty sure that would
Listen,
work.
he's already dead. If we have to put him back together, it's not that big of a deal. I'm pretty good at jigsaw puzzles.
Are there any dangerous objects inside the bag that we not want to carelessly dump onto the ground, such as any incendiary objects or other
John looks
explosives?
at Agony.
I mean, I
don't keep
believe
anything flammable in there.
I
I
believe
keep
there's
everything
a
flammable, and John
sword.
pulls out his
Guns.
own bag.
there's a sword in there. What's a gun? I don't know what that is.
I'm not allowed to have guns, I've been told.
There's jewelry in there, some potions, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Gold. Not that much.
Alright, so you guys get back to where you would enter the Vale of Dancing Waters. The dwarves, noticing Humdro with you, recognizing you from before, open the gate and wave you in. And you enter the Vale. And you move into where you had met with the leader before in order to enlist his help and cash in on that favor that they owe you. As you approach in the courtyard, you notice an old friend, Artemis Black,
Ow.
licking some wounds, hanging out. As you guys, I think
John
are
doesn't even make eye contact with him and just goes, "Hey."
Afternoon.
Artemis?
Yep.
You
Agony.
So, our plan went off without a hitch, and we rescued Sabellin.
Oh, good. Glad to hear it.
sort of.
What'd you do?
I went to speak to the drow.
John gives you squinty eyes.
I'm sorry, I don't have any physical evidence to prove that I spoke to the drow. I know how I know that right now the things I say are not to be believed, but I did. I currently have a connection to Oscar, if you would like to say something to him.
Oscar.
John extra squinty eyes you.
I'm sorry, one moment. And I'll contact Orpheus and, like, I'll tell Orpheus to have Oscar tell me something that only Oscar would know.
So Orpheus, who off-screen has nearly given Oscar a heart attack by turning into an imp before his very eyes and introducing himself and explaining who he is and how he's connected to this guy named John, convinces Oscar that he is actually an associate of John's by describing the mask, and then as you call, has been just tirelessly answering Oscar's questions about John. And he's like, "Oh, thank God, this guy is driving me nuts," he says as you contact him. And he says, Oscar, what's something that only John would know?" And Oscar tells him a little story about a time that he was teaching John how to do practical jokes, and they put a water bucket over a door to this mean, grumpy old shopkeep's shop to get him with water as he walked into his shop to open up that day. And Oscar tears up as he says, "Oh, and the water spilled all over him. It was so perfect."
I'll relay that story back to John.
And John, he gets the story right to every last detail of the shopkeeper and everything.
John will walk up next to Artemis, like holding back a tear in his eye. You know, the sniffles coming down, and he gives him a little hug, and then kind of smacks him on the back of the head and says, "It just goes, why'd you leave?"
I decided to play to my strengths. And also
And-
multitask.
Then John will just whisper in his ear, "Tell him we're gonna get him."
I'll relay it back to Oscar. God, too many names.
Right. Yeah, Oscar says, responds and relays the message that he's okay, that he's been here for a while, to not do anything
Oh.
stupid.
Yeah, I'll ask Oscar real quick. Is he able, what does that collar do? Does it prevent him from leaving this compound?
So he explains to you that the collar can cause him extreme pain if he gets there's a command word that if it's said could kill him, or at least so he's been told, though he believes it because he's seen it used on other slaves. And if the wielder, the person who's attuned to the collar, which is the lieutenant, dies, he would also die.
Interesting. Does he know if there's a range on those command words?
He assumes that it has to be kind of within hearing distance.
Okay.
And then John just goes, "What if we make it so you can't hear anything?"
I have a feeling, John, it's not tied to him hearing it, merely within earshot of the collar.
Yes, but I mean, and he pulls out the dagger and goes, "What if sound can't travel?"
I think it's more of a distance thing, not a sound thing. I don't know. Maybe. We don't know.
Could I make like an Arcana check to see if I would know the mechanism of that? If it actually depends.
Yeah. Do Arcana people want to roll Arcana here?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
I'll do
so
it. I'll
not
do
happy.
Arcana. Okay.
Okay.
Hey.
Nope. What the fuck?
You know more than me.
Yeah.
I do not have proficiency Arcana. I do not have to.
Smash.
Neither do I.
Smashy's
I've
trying
been paying
to
attention.
in his catalogs, trying to identify which specific magic item this is, but cannot find it. Palouse and John go for a more common sense route. Say, well, if it's a command word, like a spell, if spells are silenced, then typically they don't work. So he thinks, and Artemis, you kind of start to see the logic of this. That, yeah, if it was silenced, then you don't think it would work. The command words.
It's worth a try, I suppose.
I'm afraid if we're wrong, he will die. And then I look at the orgy dwarves. Can you bring back more than one person if we can,
Provide this.
financially reimburse you?
It's so expensive.
We will pay.
Yeah, all right.
John pulls out a handful of dirty statuettes and hands it to him. Down payment.
Yes. I'll add these to my collection. Right. So you guys are at the Vale of the Dancing Waters.
Mhm.
And Humdro says,
Oh, right. Agony. And he flips
Yes,
the
what,
the sundial, the little sand, dial for the last time, and goes, I think it's been about 25 minutes. I think our cake is ready.
Oh, yes, the bag. Yeah, Sablin. Well, everyone, just in case, I guess, get ready to, stab things. And I guess we could just preemptively get in position or something and before I dump out the contents of the bag.
right. Humdro steps back, as does Zook. So you flip the bag inside out?
Yep.
Alright, so you flip the bag inside out, and as you do, all of the treasure you've accumulated, spell scrolls, anything else, I think there's a dragon horn in there, all comes spilling out, as
Something.
does the body, uh, the corpse of Sable and Blackscale, and the corpse of one intellect devourer just splayed on the ground.
John will kick the corpse of the intellect devourer.
And Smashy will whip
Smash
out
it.
his maul and smash it.
John has to get a good peremptory kick in first, though.
Alright, John gets a little kick, and Smashy just splatters it.
Gross.
Sorry for that, Sablin. I guess it's a little disrespectful, but
Alright, and Humdro says, okay, now, guess we can do the thing, right? You got the Nymans?
Zook, I believe you said, do you might have some? If you don't mind.
Zook is, yeah, okay. I don't have enough for the other guy, though.
John just goes, well, if it comes to it, we will find enough to get it for you. Do not worry.
Yes.
And,
We're not certain it's going to come to that yet.
Zook hands over the diamonds that he has. And they begin, some of the dwarves kind of usher Sablin's body away, along with the diamonds. And you follow. They take you into a ritual chamber where they set up Sabellin's body upon an altar, spread the diamonds around him in a circle, and a priestess steps forward and begins reciting an incantation. You guys watch this ritual as the magic lights up within these diamonds. And Sabellin begins to glow with a faint light. And Sabellin, your body has been, or your soul rather, has been in this cold, dark place. It had a momentary reincarnation within a future self of yours, whose body was much more broken and tired, and whose spirit was surely broken. But now, finally, after this long stint of your soul just wandering and not feeling at home, you hear Lazuli in your mind say, "Ah, here we are. Just the right time." And then you are awoken. And your body is laying upon this altar, surrounded by dwarves and your friends.
Oh, hey guys.
John just
Sablin!
looked at him.
Evelyn!
You're back!
Immediately hugged
Took you
Sablin.
long enough.
Hey, how long was I out?
Couple of days.
Palouse, you're back.
Yeah, and then I want you
Yeah.
to meet my
Long
new best
story.
friend, Smashy.
Greetings. Oh, hey, you're kind of big.
Yes.
I know,
Classic.
guys. Oh, where's Jess?
He's
Mhm.
dick, we killed
Oh,
him.
I killed him.
Was he that big, like, demon thing that was shooting at us?
Yes.
Yeah, I killed him.
End story.
Wait, you guys killed him? Wait, demon? What?
Yeah. You know how I said day one that we shouldn't trust him?
Well, yeah, but you know, takes you a minute to trust anybody. But he was a demon.
Oh, I was right. Yeah. He worked for, Evil Bitchy Face. What's her
Sablin,
name?
Remember when I told you about the devil that was after me a while ago that I was so
Yeah.
afraid of?
Evil Bitchy Face.
He was working for her.
Oh, I'm sorry I wasn't there to help fight him.
So
I'm sorry I was gone for so long.
Now, my question is, what happened to you?
Well, I died, I guess. At least I think I died. Last thing I remember before going to that place was that brain thing crawling up into my head. After that, I was somewhere else for a bit.
You mean at the
Had a-
Central Temple? Do you remember being controlled by the brain?
No, I
What are you talking
remember
about?
being. It was dark. It was a place without any kind of light or hope or anything. But I got out of there, and I'm back now.
Well, that's good.
I won't leave you guys again.
No,
We give him a hug.
I'm already hugging him.
I hug back.
I don't know what to do without
And,
you.
and you hear in your mind, Sablin, the aspect, the little fragment of the spirit of Abyssia that is awoken in your mind, as you go in for a hug, says, "Yes, consume them."
I just go, No,
I'm gonna like
this.
I'm not going to do that. That's not what we do.
Are you okay, Sibellin? You're talking to yourself out loud.
Oh, I said that. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, are we in the same room as all the spread out like a bag of holding stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm
You can
gonna-
kind of see it off in the distance. Yeah.
I'm gonna look at all the strewn out contents of the bag of holding, and I assume the bag is just kind of like on the floor and next to all of it.
And like
I'm
a
just like-
smushed brain.
Yeah,
Gut.
and I'm looking at all that. And I'm just like, was I in a bag?
You were
Yeah.
in a bag.
You had a very Sir Cluckers moment.
We're all in a bag, Sablin.
A bag called friendship. Get over here. Why'd you jump off that waterfall? I tried to follow you.
I was possessed or something. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm sorry for not pulling you back in time.
Well, we're all here now, and we have a job to do.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got to catch up on a lot. Where are we? Did we stop the cults yet? Are the cults still around?
It's bad. The cults are all still around.
Yes, we're still working on that.
That's
Um,
not good.
At this point, John just pulls out a bottle, sits down on the floor, and goes, "Okay, you might as well just sit down. We got a lot to cover."
So the dwarves offer you a place to stay for the night, as it's getting pretty late in the evening. Y'all are feeling pretty tired. As you guys sit down with this bottle, you notice Artemis has slipped away again, and is not currently with you.
I'm just gonna sit here.
I'm gonna stop assuming the worst and not thinking he's a complete and utter asshole just out to fuck us all over.
I believe he isn't at all out to do that.
But you update Sablin with what's been going on since he died. Pretty much everything that's happened in Belsamer, he wasn't around for.
Oh wow. Elemental. Oof. What's his name again?
Tharizdun?
Thurisdan?
I forget, I can't think. Maybe we all need some sleep.
And Sir Cluckers is fine, like I was
Okay.
saying.
Okay, good. Good.
So you guys are gonna rest here, or what is your plan?
Yeah,
Is our
we'll,
plan.
we'll rest here.
Yeah.
And Artemis, you slipped away to go find a room to lay down in.
Yeah. Just go
And you're-
chill by myself.
Okay. So you guys rest here for the night. Humdro, as you guys are preparing to go to sleep, Humdro and Zook approach you and say, all right, well, we all need our rest after that big day, says Zook. But I think tomorrow, better head back to my family, my people. I think that I maybe can convince them to help out with what you're planning a little bit more than they already have. I don't know if we have much fighters, but we have weapons. Hopefully I can... If there are a few more smashy prototypes that maybe I could get into working order if I have a few days.
Let me activate them all.
2 days, that's all it takes you?
Well, if they're already built, it's just about finishing up the enchantment. Some basic stuff. Takes some energy, takes some time, but I could get a few more. You've seen how effective they are. It's my life's work, really.
Anything would be helpful, and you have already been more than helpful, Zook.
And Humdro then speaks up and says, "Yeah, and I'll keep following you for a bit. I thought we were gonna go talk to some giants, and I was really kind of signing on as an interpreter, but this has turned into be much more than that.
I apologize.
Maybe we
Humdro.
could go speak to those giants soon, and then I can come back."
For sure.
Zook, you'll be going there alone?
Says, "Oh
Gotta
yeah, I
smash
can handle myself." And he taps on. There's kind of this little box that he has that he taps onto, and he's like, that vehicle I smashed on my way in, I got a second one right here." And he's got like this little kind of box next to him. Not quite as equipped, but it'll get me there quick.
Carnival.
And I got Smashy to protect me. And he taps on Smashy's. Tries
Correct.
to reach Smashy's head, but just kind of like taps his arm.
It has been an enjoyable experience slaying illithids with all of you, but yes, I'll be accompanying Zook on creating more Smasher units.
You have been
But
amazing.
you'll always be
Smasher.
the best.
John just looks at you real sad, like tear in his eye, but, there was so much we haven't done yet.
Do not worry, Lord Smiley. I'll always be with you. Here, and I point at his chest way too hard.
And he just looks at him and wipes away the tear and goes, and you will always be here. And he points to his chest as well.
It's beautiful.
And
After all
violent
this
music
smashing,
played.
we can all hang out and do all those other things you wanted to do, John, as well.
If all those other things we wanted to do was killing illithids, then I am all for it.
Well, I mean, after killing the illithids.
There is no after killing illithids. Until there are no more illithids.
Well, what after? What if we kill all the illithids?
What if we want to go to the spa?
I would rust horribly.
I'm sure Zeus could get some anti-rust
Cream.
spray. Oil.
Seal it?
Seal it.
Seal
This
it.
campaign brought to you by Rust-Oleum.
Oil!
It all
You guys,
comes back.
you guys find him at the Temple of the Restful Lily months later, just rusted in place.
That's beautiful.
All right, so y'all go off to bed for the night.
Yes.
You'll plan in the morning what your next steps are.
Though before Sablin finishes going to bed, he's actually going to start checking all of his possessions, kind of see that they're all still there, kind of going over everything, and he finds the note that Artemis gave him before Artemis went off on that suicide mission way back when against Arjani.
Yeah.
And he looks at it for a moment and just kind of silently opens it up and starts reading it.
Okay.
What's it
Nice.
say?
Well, I figure I didn't get a chance when he died, and then I died. I don't know if it's gonna line up right.
And as
anytime
clarification,
soon.
it was actually on our way to meet Shoalar.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I was definitely considering reading it around the Arjani suicide mission. That never happened. That's what I was thinking of. Okay.
So should I show this to just Sablin? Should I show this to everyone?
I'm
do
gonna
what
leave
you
that.
want.
Yeah, I'll leave that to. Josh, would it be something that would be like spoilery or anything to show to everyone, or
How about you just show it to Kyle for now, and we'll run from there.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'll move it to the top of your. You should see it at the top of your journal now.
aha? Okay.
Read through that.
Okay. Yeah. And I'll go and start reading that.
Out loud.
Actually, yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, might as well make it for everybody, because I forgot it kind of touches everybody.
Well, I mean, if he wants to keep that a secret, we can kind of continue on.
Good point. Okay.
You can read.
Yeah. Okay. Good point. Yeah.
He doesn't need. We don't need to like stop right now.
Okay.
But Sablin will read that. You guys all get a long rest so you can do your stuff. And actually, I think this is a good time. You guys have done a lot. I think it's time you guys leveled up to level 9.
Oh.
It was when,
hell.
it was level 8 when Sablin left. So
Wow.
you never got to play with Sablin at level 8, Kyle. You just jumped straight to level 9.
Oh my god, a little bit at the end with the fighting that Avatar of Abyssia and everything.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we leveled.
Yeah. It's been a long. That's what I was
In real life.
realizing.
In real life.
Yeah,
I don't know
in
about
real
in
life.
game.
In game, it hasn't been
Not that long.
many days, no. But so you guys, you don't have to go through all that right this moment. You can start looking at it. But I figured that we will kind of start this next day, and you guys are going to be maybe planning a little bit of what's going to come next. So if we get into like a confrontation, or if you want to use any 9th level abilities, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you want to spend some time right now and just level up right now? Do you want to start planning what you're going to do next?
I get the sleep spell.
I could plan the levels simultaneously.
I have to be up in like 6 or 7 hours, so I might be calling it here real soon.
Okay.
It's a really bad kind of week for me. I got to go out of town in 2 days for family stuff,
goodness.
and a lot of
Oh,
stuff's been
goodness.
going on.
Okay. Sorry to hear that, man.
Oh, no problem. It's just there's also children in the next room, so I have to keep my volume down and everything.
So then, do we want to say? Because I was thinking we would maybe go to 11 or so at the latest. Let's just maybe spend the rest of our time today leveling up, making plans for what your next move is,
Mhm.
and then we kind of end it there so that Sam can be with us when we kind of pick up.
Yeah.
And we'll plan our next session much sooner because I have a lot more availability in the next coming weeks.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'll be back next week, so we can go as whenever anyone's ready type thing.
Okay. We'll probably just like the regular next.
2 weeks
next
from now.
Tuesday. Yeah.
So the 27th.
Yeah, my only concern is that we will then be having back-to-back D&D nights
I mean,
with our other game.
I'm okay with it.
I'm
If
cool.
anyone else is okay with it.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
As long as I don't have to run 2 games back to back, I'm okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry.
Yeah. Let's tentatively say that.
Did it again.
I also could possibly, if weekends work for you guys, I could like weekends. Because then we can maybe go a little longer. We don't have to start as late. For us,
I'm cool with that too.
Yeah, like I said, tonight's just one of those awkward nights where so much shit's going on and I gotta be up early that it's gonna make it difficult, but most of the time it's not an issue.
No worries. No worries.
Weekends are usually a crapshoot for me. Like every other week, I prefer weekdays.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, we can just plan on the 27th then.
Regular time.
Okay.
Nice.
And yeah, we'll just be having some heavy D&D weeks, which are great. It's summer, baby. Time for heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because just looking at the calendar right now, like tomorrow is Waterdeep B Team Episode 3 Session 1, and then a Wednesday after that is Bathhouse One Shot Part 2, and then the week after that is next session of this and next session of B Team on that one. Oh yeah, it'll be a D&D heavy month, and that's fine.
We need
Well,
it.
if anyone has different feelings, we can always change it. But it's 20. I'm definitely in town on the 27th, so that works for me. Yeah, and then we'll just take it from there.
I mean, Eric, do we have to keep playing with these people? Is it too late to swap other people?
Hey man, you just played as you can always go back to Sturgmund or whatever his name is.
Sturmund Drongheim. Yes, I could. Good point.
We got to track down Hallandor and get him back in here.
So
I'd rather see the owl bear.
I've thought about emailing that dude and being like, hey, you gotta come back for a game.
How in the Oh man.
By the
You
way,
ready-
we're
you ready
like,
he
for
shows
later,
up-
we're still playing.
You ready for
He
4 years
shows up
of
and he's
jokes?
like, yeah, 4 years of in jokes. You don't even remember this character or what was going on. I have no idea who you people are or what's happening.
Turns out he's the leader of all all 4 cults. He's the shadow leader of all 4 of them.
It was,
very
you
beginning.
know, and if we just didn't make fun of him that one time, he would have been our friend this whole time.
Damn, son. Unfortunate.
So yeah, I guess we'll have a short session today, but this will be good. You guys can kind of, I would appreciate if you could start thinking about what you're going to do next time. The biggest things on your list right now are that you
Game
have.
allies?
We should probably go start out by going to talk to the Giants.
Question: where's Zook and Smashy going again?
So, Zook and Smashy are going to go back to the other gnomes at their fortress and speak with them about getting more Smashy units and kind of helping to supply any sort of attack.
Diamonds. We need diamonds, and deep gnomes are really good at gems.
There you go.
Well, especially tell them it's for Lord Smiley and his return.
Yeah, so they're going to kind of be your like equipment and Smashy bot supply. So he's going to go and talk to them about that. Humdro is with you to go talk to the giants about helping you out. If you do this task within the next day for the drow, although I guess, yeah, Artemis, you did tell them about the drow, so I was just not sure if you had conveyed that yet. But if you do that task for them, the drow are willing to give you kind of some schematics of what is there, and to possibly coordinate with you more, though they seem hesitant to like fight side by side. And besides that, you guys still have a decent amount of days left based on your planning, based on your information before the other cults get here. So if you wanted to kind of hop back up, the nearest thing would probably be the Knights of Samular. Going to them, they're fairly close to where you are, or Valklandar is also fairly close if you were trying to go for more help. Or you could just kind of make your attack early and with the resources you have on the Temple of the Primordial. It's up to you.
I think tomorrow our plan should be to make contact with giants, get them on our side, and maybe see if we can't capture that rogues, the drow squad, so that we can use that as a way to maybe get Oscar back.
Capturing 10 drow alive, especially if they're like mind flayer controlled, that sounds really hard.
John's gonna look at Artemis and go, did they request alive, or did they just request they wanted their people back?
Artemis would have told you alive.
Say alive.
Mm-hmm.
John looks a little disheartened, like that's not how a drow should be returned.
This is assuming we even want the drow help, because we could stage an Oscar breakout without allying with the drow. I have a feeling break Oscar out, any ally or alliance with the drow is going to go out the window anyway.
Yeah,
that's kind of my dream ideal would be to trick the drow into being the first charge in the fight, so that they majority take the casualties.
That would be amazing. It's never going to happen, though.
Yeah, that sounds really tricky, because like it seems like they are very dedicated to the plan of doing that to everyone else, where everyone else, takes the brunt for assault, and they slip in and sneak in and get the goods. So flipping that around, them would have to take some crazy finessing.
Now, what if we told them that, and this is, out of character, of course, but we told them that this is, we are all storming at 10, and in fact, everyone else is storming at 11.
You could tell them that, and they might show up early, but I have a feeling when they realize that there's not this giant strike force assaulting the wall, they're not going to try to infiltrate.
Yeah, one thing I noticed is they didn't seem that interested in hearing about other people's plans, and I'm thinking that's probably because their plan is likely watch until it looks like the stuff's going down, and that's their cue to sneak in. So it sounds like, they don't have a set time. Their time for pulling off their side is when they notice everyone else moving and making their move.
If we can get a map of that place, we might be able to figure out like a good way to screw them over in the middle of their mission, and then just sort of try to arrange it so Mind Flayer and Drow wipe each other out. Because our whole point is we don't even necessarily give a fuck about the Mind Flayers or the city. We want to get to the temple underneath. So if we can figure out like where the door to that is, along the way we might be able to find a way to kick the Drow's legs out from under them and just assure that they get royally screwed when they fight the Mind Flayers.
Yeah, so it sounded more and more like our best course with the Drow is an Oscar breakout that'll also include finding this map and snatching it.
Okay.
I'm down for that.
It certainly seems like the Drow have the most information out of anyone you talk to. Everyone else you've talked to is kind of just trying to survive within this space, whereas the Drow seem like they have a detailed plan to attack, and they feel confident. At least this one lieutenant feels very confident in their ability to take out the Mind Flayers.
And the cool thing is that with Orpheus running around with Oscar, I could make Oscar fly or turn him invisible whenever I want.
Oh,
Because I can cast touch range spells through Orpheus.
yeah, we could have a.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, if he can turn invisible and fly, then
No, it's
Well,
one or the
either
other.
invisible
There's
or
no
fly.
option.
Yeah.
You're right.
Listen, if you could fly and invisible, so many wizards would be doing hijinks beyond belief.
I just wonder if if we could just have Orpheus direct Oscar in turning invisible, finding the map, and then sneaking out and flying away.
The only concern is if they figure out that Oscar's not there, that they start walking
kill
around
him.
just yelling out command words.
Mhm.
Also, Drow have fairy fire, so they're good at hunting down invisible targets if they need to. The ideal thing is if we could somehow get Oscar out of their compound. And by that I mean not necessarily break him out, but get them to bring him outside. If we could leverage that John connection, because Mr. Lieutenant Man seemed pretty interested in John too. If we can leverage that and try to get them to maybe say, hey, you want to see John? Boy, if you bring Oscar out and let him see Oscar, you could see John at the same time. And once Oscar's out from their control, we actually have a couple of options open to us. Because I could, in theory, banish Oscar. There's nothing they can really do about it short of counterspelling it. And once he's on a demi-plane, there's nothing they can fucking do to him then. And that gives us a whole
command words travel across
to
planes.
do
man.
something.
Command words travel across planes. Come on.
If they do, then
But that would give us a good minute to try to figure something out.
I'm fucking around. Yeah, I'm good with that.
If command words travel across planes, will that also mean that
No, that was me making a joke.
Oh,
I
okay.
just think that John, more than likely upon seeing this lieutenant, will want to kill him. So more than likely you're gonna want to pretend, do the whole pretend he's a prisoner kind of thing, because it's not gonna end well otherwise.
What's the name of that invocation?
I know I gotta do some leveling up here. I'm gonna roll for a hit die real quick for HPs.
I'm basically done leveling. I already had my spells picked a while ago. There's only one spell.
I only get
What
one
spell?
thing.
Mass Cure Wounds, baby.
What's a good one?
Oh shit.
I only
I've
get one
got
thing at
some
level
big
9.
choices here.
I
'Cause there
get
are
the
a lot of
ability
cool
to cause disadvantage on saving throws if I am hidden on a target I cast a spell on.
That's pretty cool.
So
I can make myself more charismatic.
Picks for me.
I'm finally going to not be the only person without
Cool.
dark vision, because one of the invocations I'm taking is absolutely Devil's Sight.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, Eric, I had 16 points out of 52 left.
Oh, nice. Make your you had say that again. 15 out of 62.
There's
16, I think.
16 out of 52.
16 out of 52.
Is it a con save or what was it? I don't remember what it was.
Yes.
Well, it sounds like we have a decent plan put together. I'm gonna go and I'll finish leveling up before our next
I don't know
session.
about that one.
All I have to do is add the class feature, really, and change out a spell or two.
Cool.
I can make people so that if they attack my allies, they take damage based on the damage they deal.
Ooh.
That's cool.
Nice.
That's real
Oh.
cool.
So yeah, they'll take about half damage. No, so they'll take full damage on any damage they deal. And then half damage if they succeed the save, because they have to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Well,
sounds
good
Uh,
evening, all.
Bye, Sam. We'll see you on the 27th.
Yes.
Night, Sam.
Sam.
Catch you then. For my second invocation, I gotta decide whether I want to do some Eldritch Blast, Augments, or something more utility based. It's also tempting.
I know, like all the art, fucking warlock stuff sound cool. It's like I want all of them.
Do I want to push people away? Do I want to pull them closer? Or do I want to just do more damage with it?
Are you gonna be doing that much with Eldritch Blast though?
See, that's one of the main like points in my head against any of those, and going for just another utility one like Mask of Many Faces or just Beast Speech for flavor.
I feel like Beast Speech is like really on par for Sablin.
Yeah, like I've been leaning towards that a bit because like I liked it whenever I did Speak with Animals like before, but it always was a shame of not a wasted spell slot, but it's like I could have used that for like another like smite or something. But if I could just talk to animals all the time, that'd be nice.
Yeah, and like it's one of those spells that once you can do it all the time, it just opens up so much more.
Yeah, and as useful
Instead
as
of having to
Mask,
sit there and burn slots.
yeah, and as useful as Mask of Many Faces is, I feel like that's more of a fit for like Artemis or like characters who are more inclined to get super sneaky.
That's right. Stay in your
would
fucking
probably
lane.
be like, yeah,
Oh,
I don't
his
know what to do
disguise-
with this.
His disguise selves would all be
Just
just
all
different
the time.
mustaches.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Hang on, I'm taking a look here. Too high level, too high level, too high level, too high level. Too high level. No. Too high level, too high level. You don't have anything like that. God, there's actually, yeah, as I'm looking at this, there aren't that many at level 2. Yeah, I'd say pick up the Beast Speech one. Yeah.
So can you only use Channel Divinity like once?
Yeah, paladins.
I think it
get
comes.
Oh yeah, I think
go ahead.
paladins get like once per day. It's been so long since I've used it, and as a cleric, you get to use it twice.
Yeah.
I think it comes back as a short rest or something.
Yeah, it does that. Yeah.
Ah, yeah. And I think was it Tasha that had the rule that you could use your channel divinity to like regen a spell slot, or
Yeah.
was it just in the UA?
There's a. No, it's in Tasha's.
Nice.
Agony, you gain a level of exhaustion with that
Yeah.
con save.
That's what I figured.
How many?
2.
That?
2 exhaustion.
That's not
God.
good.
So
That's
we'll
good thing.
talk
Okay.
about that at the beginning of next session.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Eric, I've got to talk to you about. You and I need to have a big chat because I know exactly what spell I'm taking, but you
Okay.
and I need to talk about it.
Cool. Yeah.
I do
It's
know
Wish.
I am.
It's Wish.
If only.
Yeah.
I am
Wish.
swapping out.
Come on.
I am swapping out Fireball for Synaptic Static.
Ooh, that sounds
So
neat.
I'm excited for this. Oh yeah, it's almost like. Hang on, I'll post it here in the chat. It does almost as much damage as Fireball. It does as much damage as like a 3rd level Fireball. But the cool thing about it is, number one, it's an intelligence save, which monsters fucking suck at.
Oh.
And the other thing about it is it's psychic damage, which very few creatures have resistance to, and it puts a debuff on them.
All right.
Oh
Damn.
wow, that's a really.
So if they
nasty
fail,
debuff,
they have to subtract a d6 from their attacks and ability checks, as well as concentration checks.
I do notice that like it's like creatures with intelligence score of 2 or less are just straight up immune to it, which like that's situational, but that can still be really nasty. If like, oh, here's a swarm of, what creatures would be 2 intelligence or less?
Like usually animals, like dumb animals, like like rats
Palouse?
that aren't moon rats. Palouse
Yeah,
does not, in fact, have 2 intelligence. Like
He has 8
vermin,
intelligence.
zombies, things like that. But most of what we fight is usually like cultists, like thugs or some sort of like criminal organization, things like that. Generally, we're fighting. Even elementals
China.
have intelligence higher than
What?
2. So
Yeah, I think like most creatures, I feel like have.
Mhm.
It's like I'm looking like an owl bear has 3.
right.
You know what's the best part of a Devil Sight? It can see through magical darkness too.
It can. Yes, it
I-
can.
I feel like there are some tricks we could do with that.
Yes, there is, because I
I
can
think you got
cast
2 of
darkness
you.
now, and you and I can
also
do all sorts of
cast
crazy shit.
darkness.
Yeah, like there's
Do you
all sorts
see-
of like darkness related shenanigans that we can get into. Kyle, do you have Booming Blade?
I didn't pick it up just because I was like checking the math of like the Arjani like sword and all the extra fire damage it does, and the
Mhm.
situation where Boom Blade would actually do more were way more situational compared to like it makes more sense if my sword wasn't a flame tongue sword, but since it is,
Mhm.
it's like man, like the damage of just swinging twice of that is about the same as one swing of Boom Blade and the moving.
Right. I think that will change once we get a little higher and Booming Blade scales if you were to pick it up at a higher level. But there's shenanigans you and I can get into where you can hit them with Booming Blade. I can then hit them with Repelling Blast, knocking them away, and now they're in Fuckville, where they have to either move and take the extra damage, or they have to switch over to a ranged attack or just stand there like jackasses.
That is pretty good. See, what's my other like cantrip? I might swap that up for Boom Blade then, just for utility.
Dance Macabre is a really great spell. I want to take that, but I can't right now.
So I actually found a potential contender for Beast Speech, and it's a Tasha 1. It's called the Eldritch Mind, and it's just straight up advantage on concentration checks.
Oh, that sounds dope.
It's good.
Oh, that's
it's
perfect for you.
It's good, but it's kind of boring. But it's so good.
It's perfect for you because you're always getting hit all the time on the front line.
Yes, between that and the aura to all my saves, that will add so much safety to any concentration spell I have.
You're right. It is the most boring thing I've ever read, but it's almost the most boring thing I've ever read. But it's so good.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. I wonder if there's an item I can get that can just replicate Beast Speech.
Hint, hint.
I see you caught it.
Making a list, checking it twice.
But yeah, hang on, Eric. I'm gonna message you the spell I'm gonna be picking up here.
Yeah, Eldritch Mind is just too good, especially because like it's going to be a bit delayed because my Paladin spell progression is a bit slowed because of these Warlock levels. But ever since Tasha's, I think that one spell where there's just a area around me that just damages enemies, the one that I almost killed us with back in Ashenport. Not Ashenport. Was it Ashenport? Like it's a thing where everything around me that I choose takes damage, and I killed like a bunch of those last Ashenport ghouls.
Yeah.
That
was Ashenport. Yeah.
Like that's on the Paladin spell list now, but that's like a 3rd level, so it's gonna be a bit before I get that. But if I just have like the aura saves, the aura bonus saves and advantage, that'll just never go off, like never come off rather.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Eldritch Mind is just busted good, despite Beast Speech being more fun or more flavorful.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could take more work levels than I planned so I can get more invocations. Oh, that's tempting. Oh, I'd have to go all the way to 5th to get a 3rd invocation. Gross.
Yeah, so I did want to mention to you guys my plans kind of for where we're going with this campaign is that I really want us to just, as I put the timer on the Belsimer stuff, we're going to just push through that and and wrap up the Princes of the Apocalypse part of the story. And then how I'm planning to do it after that, we'll see what happens. Maybe you'll be in a post-apocalyptic wasteland after. But whether or not you stop these plans, if you succeed, but then we can kind of take it into other personal goals that you had, things with your backstories and stuff. Or if it's in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, we'll see what kind of things you want to do there. But that way, once we finish up that, we can still play with these characters, but have it be more like smaller campaigns that are like directed towards a specific smaller goal that you guys create. Based on what you want to do in this world.
Nice.
Because I want to get to all the things that you've been setting up with your backstories and these things that you want to do that I know all of you want to do. So we'll definitely get there.
Just got to get through chapter 1.
Yeah, the longest
through the prologue.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun. Like I imagine Oscar might act as a fun kind of hook into some of John's later things. I don't know what John's later things are gonna be, but we met Oscar. I didn't expect us to meet Oscar this soon.
I mean, he had to come up in the city. He had to. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, I was expecting him to like show up or like hear something about him towards the end of us dealing with the Temple of the Primordial, and then that just being a hint of where he would be afterwards.
Like
Seeing him actually just pop up in the flesh, it's like,
or
oh,
something.
or like a note scribbled on the wall, like, find me here, John, if you see this.
You just wanted to keep the mystery going.
Oh, I love mysteries.
Did you see a bunch of Oscar was here somewhere, everywhere in the city?
You guys haven't seen Hunter x Hunter, so the reference I was going to make you won't get. Never mind.
Right.
Watch on.
We'll just get to this Oscar guy, and he turns out to be a robot. It's not even the real Oscar.
Well, that would make it much more convenient when they blow off his head. So.
Turns out he's got synthetic limbs like Zook, and he's actually a fairy inside of him. Or we'll find out about Zook. We'll find out that his limbs are just fake limbs for fake limbs, and it's just a Matryoshka doll of increasingly smaller Zooks.
Eric, we talked about this a long time ago, but I asked you about a homebrew invocation that I discovered. I'm gonna I'll post it in the chat here in the game.
Yeah, I'm vaguely remembering this.
Yeah, it's as a bonus action, you can sacrifice half your maximum hit dice to regain one expended spell. Is that still kosher with you?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. I like the idea of hurting myself for more power.
How much health is a barbarian yet? Average 7.
It's like
It's 7. I just looked at it.
7. Yeah, 7 plus your con mod.
Yeah, because it's a D12.
Yeah.
Plus my con mod, plus my 2 because I have toughness.
Right.
So the fact
11.
that nice.
Blue's never gone down.
Speaking of crazy stuff, so it's kind of insane that pact magic and like normal magic don't like there's this whole like table for multi-classing spells that each have their own spell slots, and like there's like a formula or something that kind of makes you lose some slots to counteract getting 2 classes of it. Pact magic just stacks on top. I've got 6 first level spell slots right now.
Jesus.
That's silly.
Yeah. And you could use them for smiting or for spellcasting of either thing. Yeah. I've got so many first level slots, you almost don't even need beast speech.
I was about to say, man, I could just speak with animals whenever I want, and then take a short rest and get 2 of those speak with animals back. A speak with animals machine.
Yeah, that's wild.
Animal talker.
And that's so good for the smites. And then you have that
shield is on my
Item.
spell list now.
Nice.
You
Oh,
so you have the shield ring, and then you can also cast shield.
Yeah, I can cast shield now, and actually, now that I can cast shield, I can cast it shield, and I've got so many first level slots now. If someone would benefit from having a shield ring, I might give it to somebody.
Gotta cash out.
What's the shield?
Oh, I did mean to. Hey, this is another thing I've been meaning to ask you. We looted. We were in the process of looting Jess's body when he went all like horrible. Did we manage to get his like bat cloak? What more
Yeah, that's
importantly,
what
did I get his
that's
hat
what-
and cigars?
That's what I was thinking before. Like I thought Artemis took all his shit, and so that Artemis would have his bat cloak, and he's just flying around, running away.
It's a good point. I don't know why you wouldn't have his bat cloak. Like,
Yeah, I
you
thought
killed
Artemis
Taylor.
took all his
you
shit.
you like took notes out of his pockets and stuff. Wouldn't be too hard to untie a cloak.
And like
So
his
yeah,
cross,
I
his
guess
cross.
you do.
So his crossbow when he demoned out, was that like his old crossbow with demon power, or was it like a new one that came with his new demon body?
I think it was like a new
Um,
or something.
His crossbow. I think his crossbow was like.
Wasn't like a part of him?
Yeah, it was. I mean, he had like a special, crazy
Crossbow.
crossbow, which which also happened to the cape, but I think all of him kind of shrunk down to normal Jess size when you killed him. He like lost the vigor of the spell. Although
Didn't he
that's
get,
not
like-
true?
Didn't he get like taken back to hell or something?
Yeah, that's not true. I'm just remembering that. I need to rewatch the end of that, and then I'll tell you guys what happened to his items. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna write a note.
Okay.
Because I need to.
I at least want his hat and cigars.
I need to remember what happened to him because I do remember saying that you guys found the journal on him.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Thanks, look at this.
So yeah, let me go watch that.
That's
I was gonna be like, who's watching a show? It's Max's show.
Sorry.
I was so confused.
Well, I'm excited to play again tomorrow night.
Yeah.
We're having
yeah,
a girl,
excited
by
to
the
have you
way.
back.
So we're playing with B team.
Yes.
Right.